Welcome to episode 7 of Emulating Pelé. In today's video we will go into a bit more detail, so the video will be a bit longer, but I hope you guys stick around and enjoy the episode. So as you can see, there's now only 54 players, meaning 3 of our players have retired. The 3 guys to retire are Navarre Bilbao, the Spanish international, Bor McClure, the Slovenian, and Adam Moussi, the Egyptian. It's really annoying because, once again, just like emulating Ronaldo, there's been a bit of a problem. I've clicked Keep History After Retirement, it is ticked, it's clearly ticked, it's been from the start, but when searching for the players, I can't find anything, there's no biography of them, which is just annoying. Why has that happened? I don't know. Everyone has been ticked since the start, and once again there's been a problem. If anyone can let me know in the comment section below why that's happened, if there's a way around that, because everyone is ticked. I've checked. I made sure at the start it was ticked, and I even checked going through the episodes just to make sure when someone retires we can still see their biographies. It's a shame. It hopefully won't affect too much. I have said I will be doing some polls at the end to decide who will be player of the tournament, that sort of thing. So I will make sure everyone's listed out in those polls, so you still have the chance to vote for those players. They probably won't have a chance to win it now, considering they retired between the age of 27 and 30, which is very young. Not sure why those 3 retired, but they have. They were all internationals, I think, but they have vanished. Anyway, biggest value players, Dwayne Flanagan, 27 million. It's going to start to drop now as they reach their 30s. Last time we saw a couple players in the 50 million mark, but the highest is Dwayne Flanagan now. If I just make my way down, you can pause the video just to see where your player is. I've got what the space he was worth, over 50 million last time, down on 16 million now. That may be because his contract's running up, but also because he has reached the age of 30. We've all reached the age of 30, and we are starting to, I guess, decline. Some players will maybe improve from this point. Defensive midfielders, defenders, perhaps have only just entered their prime. John Johnson, once again the lowest value player, with Kai Harrop, both under 100k. So let's just look at a few other things before moving on to the players in detail. Highest wage is still Mads Knudsen at Man City, 250k a week, and then Ryan Micallef at Man United, and John Cole Keane also earning a lot at Man City. Maximiliano Orlando at Barcelona is also earning over 200k a week, as is Ryan Bray. So the lowest, let's just go down slowly, sorry, so you can see. You can see your player. And the lowest value is, lowest contract is Kai Harrop with £5,250 a week, still earning a very good living, and Wassad Radio 9,000 a week. Just to split out the clubs, I'll just show you. You can see the breakdown of clubs. There's 3 players at AC Milan, 4 at Arsenal, 3 at Aston Villa, who are rich on this save, 3 at Dortmund, we've got 3 at Liverpool, 5 at Man City, a couple at Man United, a couple at Marseille, 3 at Tottenham. So there's bunches of players at certain teams for whatever reason. Maybe money, maybe they've just decided to sign all these players towards the start of the game, seeing that they were wonder kids. And a lot of players have actually been at, only 1 or 2 clubs throughout their career. Most international caps is Wang Heibo, 129 caps. I don't know if he's retired. We will see. He's not retired from international football yet, actually, but we'll see when we go through. And then it's Taylor Nelson with 119. We've got quite a few players with over 100 caps. All of those players have at least 100 caps. Work the Space and Anis Rama both have 100 for India. And then the least caps, we've still got a couple players without any caps. Procrastinator FM and Football Manager HD unfortunately haven't broken into their international teams. Oliver Grande only managed to get 1 cap for Italy, hasn't built on that since the last episode. And Marcus Ralphson ended up with 6 for England. Had a promising start, but then drifted away. Victor Santana, only 16 for Romania. And Janu Hanklo's got 17 for Germany, but that's a very tough team to get into, as you guys will know. So, Work the Space has the most international goals, 112 in 100 games. I think that's slowed down slightly, his scoring rate, compared to number of games, but still, more than, more goals than caps is very impressive. Wang Heibo, 76 goals in 129 games, and Taylor Nelson has also got over 50 goals with 62 and 119 for America. A few other players have got quite a few goals, and there's going to be players that don't have any goals, certain players, defenders, players that don't have caps. In fact, Tomislav Benko for Croatia, 104 caps, 0 goals. And Kenji Kimura for Japan, goalkeeper, obviously got no goals as well. So let's just compare some stats from the past season. So we can't see the two previous, but for the last season, 2027-28 season, Taylor Nelson got the most goals, 30 goals in 43 games. That's very good. Danny Welle with 28 just behind. Average rating wise, Taylor Nelson top, Wasad Radio just behind, 7.61, and myself with a 7.61 as well. Let's just look at a few other statistics. Assists wise, Janu Hanklerk with 22, he's got the most. Dwayne Flanagan usually is top of this, but only managed 15 this time round last season. Clean sheets, Kenji Kimura with 18 and Dini Mack with 17, that's quite impressive. All our keepers managed to get clean sheets this time, which is good. So it seems to be that Procrastinator FM is actually playing now. Key passes. Let's look at this. Dwayne Flanagan with the most, 49. Anis Rama, Daniel Turner also getting at least 40. Key tackles for the defenders, let's have a look. Maz Knudsen, 48, that's good. And Danilio Stripchenko with 40. So there you can see just a few statistics that you may be interested in. You may not be. So this time round I've decided to work down the list in order of alphabetical order of the clubs. So we'll start with the AC Milan clubs, and Oliver Grande is the first up. Only managed to get 1 cap for Italy, as we know. But let's have a look at how he's been doing at club level. He still looks a good player, doesn't he? He's got good attributes. He's been regularly playing for AC Milan over the last 3 seasons. Apart from that second season, maybe injuries held him back there. His average ratings have been quite poor though, unfortunately. Let's just have a quick look at his achievements. He's won the Italian Cup. Nothing in the last 3 years though for AC Milan. Maybe AC Milan have won something without him. We'll find out, I guess. We'll have a quick look at biography, and you can pause the video to see it, because I'm aware that we may not be able to see it at the end. Unfortunately, 3 players have slipped through there. Now, I do apologise, there's nothing I could do there. Football Manager has screwed us over there in removing the players, despite me clicking Keep Retirement History. So if I just click on the biography each time, and you can pause it, I won't read through it, but when we go through the players, you can quickly pause to see it. Next up is Work the Space. The Indian Ronaldo has done very well. He's actually retired from international football just over a year ago, so that's why his scoring rate and his caps he got to 100 caps and retired, basically. Let's look at his overview then. That's the wrong one. This is the one we want to see. So he's still scoring goals, 21 goals, 17 goals, 23 goals. Not quite as good as the previous episode, and his average ratings haven't been as good either, actually. But he's still a fantastic player. This is his biography, if you're interested. But let's just have a look at overall. Nothing has been won in the past 3 years at a club level, but he's won some personal awards. Next up is our Dutch striker, Alex MBB, 29 goals in 93 games for Holland. Still playing at international level. Let's just look at his career stats over the past 3 years. Not too many goals. I don't know if he's actually been playing up front. He may have been playing attacking midfield. No, he's been playing up front mainly, especially internationally. 52 games. That must have shown all of his international games rather than just this season, because that would be ridiculous otherwise. Achievements-wise, he's won a few personal things, named in Team of the Year weeks and those sort of things. This is his biography. So AC Milan finished all the way down in 8th this season, despite having 3 of our players. Juventus have won again, but we've seen 3 different winners in the past 3 seasons. Moving on then to Marcus Ralston of Arsenal. He's still there, but he only managed to get 6 England caps in the end. Let's have a look at his career stats, achievements, biography quickly. Hasn't really been playing a huge amount, on and off. Average ratings have been quite poor as well for Arsenal. This is his biography. These are his awards. Hasn't won anything for years, mainly because he hasn't been playing, I guess. Ted Jackson, also Arsenal, our Nigerian player, and half Dutch as well. 6 goals in 37 games for Nigeria. Hasn't really been an international star for them. Moved to Arsenal though for 13.5 million, left PSV, and has played regularly for Arsenal. Let's have a look at his achievements. And no, Arsenal haven't won anything lately. They were Capital One Cup runners-up, and let's have a quick look at his biography. You can just, perhaps in the comment section, spot things like, oh, he's been named Dutch Young Player once and that sort of thing. African Footballer of the Year, he's been shortlisted twice. But you can just spot these things for me rather than me having to read them out and making the video even longer. Moving on to Ryan Bray, England international, real star for England, 92 caps, 3 goals. Let's just have a quick look at England at this moment in time. They are 7th in the world. Top player is Raheem Sterling still. Ryan Bray is down there in 4th. Paul Wanless on that list too. So he's been at Arsenal his whole career apart from the first season where he was at Brentford. He's had a stellar career with Arsenal, being the regular right back for them. Unfortunately, hasn't really won anything lately because they haven't won it. Oh, they won the Community Shield. So they must have won the FA Cup. Oh, they must have finished 2nd in the Premier League. And then the team that won the FA Cup and League obviously played against them. I'm guessing that's the reason why they played in that Community Shield. I may not have spotted something there that was obvious. Moving on to Procrastinator FM, who's also at Arsenal now. He's only in 155k a week. One of our players that hasn't really been that good. He's not played very often. And he specialised in being a sub-keeper, but finally he has broken into a team, and it happens to be Arsenal. He's had a good record actually, not a great average rating, but he's played plenty of games this past season. By the age of 29-30, he's finally broken into a team, and it happens to be a big team as well. I don't know where they finished this season. They finished 4th. QPR, Newcastle 2nd and 3rd. Wow, that's very impressive from them. Aston Villa, rich team, down in 6th. But yeah, well done to Procrastinator FM. He's finally got into a team. A lot of goalkeepers do take a long time. There's goalkeepers out there that don't break into a team until their 30s and then actually become a very good keeper. It's a strange career for him, but it's finally worked out for him. This is our Ukrainian, Danilo Skripchenko. It's hard to say. He's from Ukraine, 2 goals in 90 games for Ukraine. He's at AS Monaco. Let's just have a look. He's been there since 2015, been a regular for them in the team at centre-back. Got good average ratings. Achievements-wise, this is his biography. And this is what he's won lately. So they have won a few things, actually. They won the French... in fact, they've won a lot. Coupe de Ligue, French Cup, European Champions Cup runners-up. So the Champions League runners-up. And the French Champions Trophy, Coupe de la Ligue, French Cup. He's been doing a lot. Moving on to Philip Ekstrand, our Swedish guy. 1 goal in 33 games for Sweden. Hasn't really been a massive superstar for Sweden, but he's a good player. He's also at Monaco, so he'd have won quite a few things the last 3 years, and he has played quite a few games. A lot of them are off the bench, admittedly. So yeah, look at all that. He's won a lot of competitions. Not so many personal awards, but team awards. He's joined in and collected a lot of trophies there with Monaco. This is his biography. Moving on to Full-Time FM, the main England keeper for the past 10 years or so really, 77 caps for England. He's at, I just realised Procrastinator FM wasn't earning 155k a week. I was looking at his value. He was worth 155k a week. He wasn't earning 155k a week. This is the earnings, 140k a week for Full-Time FM. He's a very good keeper, looking at him. He's at Aston Villa, who are rich. He's been there for a few years now, 6 years, and he's been the main keeper, as you would expect. Achievements-wise, this is his biography. He's won the English Premier Division Golden Glove once, and this is what he's won. He hasn't won anything since 2024 when Villa won the Capital One Cup. Since then, he's just won personal awards. Although European Football Champions runners-up, I think we saw that in the last episode actually. But that's it for him. Percy Persevillian is also at Arsenal, Aston Villa. 2 goals in 96 games for Scotland. He's still playing for Scotland. He's become Scotland's main star, I guess, over the other couple of Scottish players for us. 20th in the world as well. David Moyes is in charge. 2nd top player, just behind Ryan Gold. Let's have a quick look at his career stats. So he's been at Aston Villa 4 years, moved for a massive fee. I think the biggest fee we've seen. Don't think there's a bigger one. We'll find out by the end of this episode, I guess, if there has been a bigger one. And it has been a regular for Aston Villa. Hasn't managed to win much with them, unfortunately. Don't think he was even in the team for the Capital One Cup, by the looks of it. But he's still a very good player, and maybe will make our Team of the Year or best left back of the series. I don't know. Well, I don't know if I'll do a Team of the Year. That might be a bit complicated, but we'll see. See if I can do that. Paul Wanless, another player at Villa who really started as a left back, but has become a natural left-sided midfielder. Probably because of the attributes that Paul chose. Managed to get 62 caps for England. I don't know which position he was playing for England. Let's have a quick look. Internationally, he has been playing left midfield, but at club level, it's a real mix. 13 games at right back, 7 at centre back, and 4 at left back. He's not even a centre back. He's not actually been playing left midfield for Aston Villa at all, even though that is actually his best position now. Getting quite a few games under his belt, but he's not really, because of that, he's been quite versatile. He's not really fixed down a place in the Villa team. Moving on to our other Indian, retired at the same time as Work the Space. They both got to 100 caps and retired. That is, best buds for life, eh? Those two. He's at Atletico. He's had a very good career. Moved to Atletico a few years ago, and he's been a regular for them. Good average ratings. Achievements-wise, he's won La Liga with Atletico in 2027. Real Madrid, Atletico, and Real Madrid, the last 3 winners of La Liga. This is his biography. Janu Hanklauk, German, is also at Atletico. Very good player, but obviously, like I said, tough team to break into is the German national team. He's been very good for Atletico. Those average ratings are impressive. This is his biography, and this is what he's won lately. Lots of personal awards. Just scroll down to see if they did actually win anything in 2025. Doesn't look like it. Runners up in the Spanish Cup, I think. Tomislav Benko, our Croatian, 104 caps for Croatia. He's still there. He's at Barcelona at the moment, but he's wanted by Arsenal and Monaco. Someone said to make sure you look at the wanted thing. I often forget. I do apologise, but you find out in the next episode where you've moved anyway. So Barcelona, he moved there for 16.5 million 3 years ago. So Hammer Smith, one of our managers in emulating Sir Alex Ferguson, signed him. Moved from City for lots of money. Quite a lot of money anyway. And he's been playing quite a few games for Barcelona. They were Champions League runners-up this season. That's quite unfortunate. Man City won it twice in a row, in fact, and Porto won it. So he left Man City only to go to a team that went on to lose a Champions League final against Porto, actually, this season. Is that predicting the future of this year's one? They've won the Spanish Cup and the Euro Cup in the time he's been there. And this is his biography. There's quite a few things there, actually. So you keep history after retirement. It's already... Oh, this one's not ticked. Well, there we go. That's strange. It seems to be broken for certain people, even though I've checked as we've gone through to make sure they're okay. Maximiliano Orlando, a San Marino player. 30 goals in 91 games for San Marino. Retired just under a year ago from international duty. He's at Barcelona as well. He's been there quite a few years. He's been a regular in the team over the past few years, getting good average ratings and lots of goals, actually. 25 goals this season. That's very good for Barcelona. See, this one, it's not ticked. It's really confusing. We looked earlier and they were ticked, weren't they? I'll tick them again before I holiday. I'll make sure this thing is ticked. But they were... I've checked every single time and they're ticked and they untick themselves. It's really weird. So we'll make sure they're all ticked. I'll make sure they're all ticked before I holiday again. Sorry to the 3 guys that have retired already. It's just one of those things. But you did retire early. You shouldn't have retired that early, guys. What's happened? Petty then is next up. Our Peruvian, 29 goals in 89 games for Peru. He's at Birmingham. Been there for 4 years. Been up and down between the Premier League and the Championship. Hasn't really scored a huge number of goals that you'd expect from a guy like this. They've runners up in the FA Cup this year. Who won the FA Cup? Man City, Everton. Man City have dominated lately. So See, this guy, it is ticked. It's really weird. Some of them have just unticked themselves. Never mind. Moving on to Victor Santana, our Romanian, who is at Chelsea. He's had a strange career, really, because he's at Chelsea. He looks good, but he's not exceptional. At the same time, you'd have thought he'd get more caps for Romania than he has, but he hasn't. He's only got 16. Been at Chelsea 4 years, hasn't really played that much, so I guess he's not exactly a main player in the Chelsea team. This is his biography. That's not ticked. Damn thing. He's won a few things, MLS All-Stars and the Community Shield, but that's it really. Fabrizio Strassner, our Brazilian, I don't think he's won any more caps for Brazil since he moved to Dortmund. He's ended with 31, 4 goals, perhaps a play gain, but it's probably unlikely. Despite having 20 finishing, 20 composure, 20 off the ball, that is incredible. But he's still not getting into the Brazilian team. Been at Dortmund quite a few years. Scored plenty of goals the last 2 years, 24 in the last 2 years. Very good average ratings, very good in fact. And he's managed to win at the German First Division in 2028. Won the Super Clásico de las Americas with Brazil. So he must have managed to get a couple more caps then since the last video if he's won that with Brazil. And was named in the Brazilian Seasonal Best 11. So maybe he has got more caps than I realised. 31? I don't know. Anyway, he's got a few more. We didn't look at his biography, did we? Let's just have a quick look at biography. That needs to be ticked. I will go back and make sure everything is ticked before continuing. Don't want any more problems. And if it doesn't work, then it's just a game being annoying. Tanendra Sakti, our Indonesian, 73 caps, 5 goals. He's also at Dortmund. He's been there for 5 seasons. Has been a mainstay in the team at centre-back. Achievements-wise, that's his biography. He's won at the German Cup and the German First Division lately. Moving on to Skippy, who was in World Team of the Year. We'll have a look at all those things at the end. This episode is going to be very long. I've already explained why we've got long ones and short ones. I don't need to go into details again. 21 goals in 104 games for Holland. That's a very good international career. He's out for 3 months at the moment. He's been at Dortmund since the second season and he's played pretty much nearly every game for them. Achievements-wise, he's won the league and the cup, like the other 2 guys. And biography, see, it's ticked for him. It's annoying. I'm annoyed now. Christopher Krikstad, our Evertonian. He's from Norway. 56 games for Norway. Last 3 seasons, he's done pretty well for Everton. Good average ratings. Achievements-wise, that's his biography. Actually, we'll tick that. And overall, he's won the FA Cup this year. Won the Community Shield. They won the FA Cup twice in the last 3 years, actually. 2025 and 2028. We should have seen 2025 last time, I think. Moving on to Alfredo Garcia from Gibraltar. 12 goals in 83 games for Gibraltar. Has retired from international football now, though. He's been at Fulham quite a while. Been promoted with them from the Championship again. He's spent a couple of years in the Championship with Fulham. But last couple of years he's done very well, actually. Average rating's been very good. Hasn't really won much, apart from getting promoted. Moving on to Jamran Karoma, Albanian. Was German, he's gone for his second nationality in the end. 2 goals in 40 games for Albania. He's at Schalke's wanted by a team. Let's just have a quick look at that. Real Madrid want him, actually. Oh, we've gone. Where are we? Here we are. So will he move to Real Madrid in the next episode? He's been at Schalke for 4 years after leaving Man United. He's played for big teams, so you could see him going to Real Madrid. This is his biography. Lots there. Lots of interesting stuff there to read if you want. And he's won plenty of things with Schalke, in fact. He's won, since last time, the First Division twice. He's won the German Cup and the Super Cup twice. They've done really well lately, haven't they, Schalke? So they've won, they won it 4 years in a row, and then Dortmund won it. So he's won 4 German First Divisions. Does he need to move? He's doing exceptionally well with Schalke. Since he's gone there, he's picked up for league titles, or 3 maybe. He may have missed the first one. Moving on to Gil Canario. From Portugal, 37 caps for Portugal, 1 goal. Is at Granada, who have done very well on this save actually. And he's done okay. He's done quite well with Granada. He's won the Euro Cup with Granada, but nothing since then. Let's just look at La Liga. They finished down in 7th this year, so they've been top 10 pretty much every single season. Taylor Nelson, our American international, who's done very well. He's wanted by a team. He's been at Granada quite a while. He's wanted by Monaco now, who have been doing well lately. Always goes back to there when I click back on the wanted screen. So, yep, he's been at Granada for many, many years after a big money move. And he's scored goals every year. 211 goals in 374 games. I think that's just league appearances as well. So that's very, very good. His average rating is exceptionally high. Achievements-wise, that's his biography. There's lots of things there. Quite a few personal awards as well. Oh, World Player of the Year. 3rd place. We'll have to look at that. Oh no, shortlisted. No, shortlisted for World Golden Ball, and he's finished 3rd place in World Player of the Year. I think that may be the highest yet. But we will have a look at the end to see which year that was and if any of our other players have managed to make it in there. So that's certainly interesting. Looking forward to seeing that. Kai Harrop, I don't know what I said there. Kai Harrop from St Kitts and Nevis. He's at Jeju still, where he's been since the last episode, 4 years now, and he's done okay over there in the K League. Achievements wise, he's won the Coupe de la Ligue with Saint Etienne, but nothing. We can't actually see how he's been doing. We might be able to see the league. Let's look at the K League. We'll look at this first. Let's look at Jeju and go to the K League Classic, where they haven't featured in the top 3 anyway. Moving on to Wang Haibo, who's at Juventus still, South Korea, and he's still playing for South Korea. Been at Juventus quite a while. Scoring goals, 21 and 20 goals in the last 2 seasons. Helping them to the title. He's won a few things there. Won Serie A this year. This is Millsy playing for Las Palmas, the Austrian. Strange move for him from Empoli to Las Palmas. They're playing in the top division in Spain, and he's played plenty of games. Let's look at his achievements then. Relegated from Serie A with Empoli before moving to Las Palmas. Let's look at his biography and click that. His Daniel Turner looks really good, doesn't he? Those attributes are still very high. 113 caps for Australia, 13 goals. Plays for Liverpool, where he's been quite a long time. Good average ratings. Achievements-wise, this is his biography. He's won the Asian Young Footballer of the Year, Asian Footballer of the Year in 6 occasions as well. And World Cup Best Player, 3rd place. I think we saw that before. But Asian Footballer of the Year. He's won the last 3. Ali Abel's featured as well. Let's just have a quick look up. You can see, Work the Space has featured heavily as well, but never won it. Daniel Turner has dominated that award. These are his achievements with Liverpool. I don't think they've won anything lately, unfortunately. He's featured in the European Champions Cup Dream Team. Lots of personal awards, Team of the Week and that sort of thing. Dini Mack is also at Liverpool. 51 caps for Mali for the goalkeeper. He's been at Liverpool 5 years now, and he's been the main keeper for them. So well done to Dini Mack. This is his overall achievements and biography. Premier Division Golden Glove runner-up on 2 occasions. Let's click that. Here's me, Paul Holden. Faroe Islands. I've retired though. 5 goals in 87 games for Faroe Islands in the end. Still look a good player. Quite versatile. I've been at Liverpool my whole career. I'm like the new Gerrard/Carragher because I can play defence and attacking midfield. Well, I'm a wing back. I'm the new Glenn Johnson. I've not really scored many goals for Liverpool in my time, have I? But average ratings have always been very good and have been very strong the last 3 years actually. These are my achievements. I've not done a huge amount biography wise there. I've been named in Team of the Week quite a lot though. I was in Team of the Year, actually. How many of our players are here? There's me, Daniel Turner, and that's it this season. Moving on to Mads Knudsen, Man City player, defender, Danish, 111 caps. He has retired from international duty, but he's had a very good career with Man City. He's been our best centre-back in my opinion, and probably will be, if I do a centre-back of the series, I guess he'll win that. That's probably the best thing to do, like positions, rather than team of the series. It'd be hard because obviously there's different formations as well. I don't know, might be a bit complicated to do. He's won so many things lately. Club World Champions, so they won the Champions League in 2026. Let's all go all the way down. Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, Super Cup, World Club Championship, Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, Super Cup, and then the Capital One Cup this season and the league. They have dominated. They've won it 4 years in a row, the league. They have really dominated, and 5 of our players are there, meaning they're a part of this huge history-making Man City team. If we go to John Cole Keane, I'm sure he's won everything as well. He should have been the main right-back for them. Irish international, 104 caps for Ireland now. Rare island in the world. 11th in the world. Roy Keane's manager now. Career stats. So he's been at Man City his whole career as well. What a career. There's his biography. There's his all his awards. Obviously he's won everything as well. We don't need to look into that in detail, as he's a main player for Man City, so they've won everything. Dwayne Flanagan, also at Man City, 103 caps for Northern Ireland, 18 goals. He has been insane. Been there since quite early on, where he moved from Celtic for 7.5 million. One of their best ever signings, I would say, because he has been sensational every year. Achievements wise, obviously won everything with Man City. Biography, you can have a look here. Danny Welly is another one that's done really well. 46 goals in 91 games for Finland. He has retired from international duty. He is wanted by a club, actually, wanted by PSG. But then I guess most teams would want someone like Danny Welly, who has been an exceptional player over the years, and been in the first team the majority of the time for Man City. 33 goals in all competitions last season, and the season just gone, 28 goals. Very good. What a player. Club World Championship best player, runner-up. European Champions Cup Golden Boot, runner-up. Premier Division top scorer, runner-up. He's runners-up in quite a few personal awards there. And obviously has won a lot of things with Man City. Moving on to our last Man City player, I think, if I'm correct. So the last Man City player is Matt Howitt. 16 goals in 27 games for England. That's a very good record. It's strange that he hasn't got more caps than that, actually, considering how good he has been when he has played. And he is a Man City player and won lots of things with them. I suppose the problem is he's not really been a regular since moving to Man City from Chelsea, where he really was underused. He has been slightly underused over the years. On and off. Some seasons he's played lots of games, others not so many. Lots off the bench 3 seasons ago, and then last season 21 in total and 17 in total this season. So he has been a bit underused. I don't know if injuries have been a problem. There's quite a few injuries up to 2025, but nothing since then, absolutely nothing since 2025. So no injuries at all for 3 years, but lots before then. Let's look at his achievements. Still managed to win plenty of trophies despite not being as regular a player as others. I don't think he's managed to get enough games under his belt to pick up the Premier League titles the last 2 years, though, but he did in 2026. And this is his biography. So let's move on down the list to Toddwood Herrera-Amato at Man United. Got his big money move to Man United in the end. 109 caps. It's actually a few more than John Cole Keane, although you'd probably say John Cole Keane is the better looking player on paper, but Toddwood has ended up with more caps than him. And last 3 years he's been a regular in the Man United team. Not very good average ratings though since moving to Man United. It's strange, some players just really have poor average ratings but still tend to do quite well at club level. Win a few things. He hasn't really won anything in his career though, has he? Because Man United haven't really won anything lately. Runners-up in the FA Cup in 2027. That's about it. Ryan Micallef, 240k a week, but once again he's at Man United, not winning much. Lots of goals and lots of games for Malta. He has retired from international duty. Been at Man United since 2018. And good average ratings, quite a few goals. Achievements-wise, hasn't done much because Man United, like I said, just haven't won anything for years. And if we go to his biography, he's won a few things with Man United in the early days, but the last 5 years they've just not done anything. Will Moythorpe, a Welsh player, 9 goals in 46 games for Wales, hasn't retired from international duty. He's at Millwall in the Championship. They were promoted one year, so he has played some Premier League football throughout his career, but he's mainly a Championship quality player nowadays. Doing okay for Millwall. Achievements-wise, this is his biography. And you can see he's been promoted and relegated with Millwall. Moving on to Dan Still, Andorran, who has retired from international duty. Transfer listed by Marseille, actually, where he has been since he left Man City. Hasn't really played very much. In fact, he's not played many games throughout most of his career. He's always been a backup player, really, hasn't he? It's a shame, because he's had a good international career, as you'd expect of Andorra, to be fair. He should have got lots of caps with them, and he looks a good player. He's managed to win the Champions League with Man City, but unfortunately has been underused by so many teams. Football Manager HD, one of our players that hasn't managed to get any caps for his nation, but he's still a decent player, decent defender. He's been at 2 good teams, PSV and Marseille, and he's played plenty of games, 342 games. So maybe would you prefer to be like Dan Still, win 94 caps for Andorra, win a few trophies with the big teams but not play very often, or play for 2 relatively big teams in PSV and Marseille, play plenty of games, not get any international caps? I don't know, what would you prefer? His average rating's been really shoddy, to be fair, so maybe he would have been better off being a Dan Still type character instead. And he hasn't really won anything either, so maybe that's a no-brainer. You'd rather be Dan Still, despite playing under half as many games as him. Alex Kenny then. 90 caps for Canada, 5 goals. He has retired from international duty. They all seem to retire in 2027 at the age of 29. It seems to be that way all the time, though, on these games. They get to 90 to 100 caps and then they decide to retire. So he's been at PSG for 3 years. He moved from Man City for 13.5 million. Hasn't played many games, though. Didn't play much for Man City and hasn't played much for PSG. But he's been at big teams the last few years and has won a few things with those teams. A few trophies in his trophy cabinet. Moving on to Baked Benz, our Swiss player, 77 caps, 6 goals. He's at QPR now. He's retired from international duty. Oh no, he hasn't. He's on international duty at the moment. He's not retired from international duty. Moved to QPR for 1.2 million. The last couple of years at Dortmund, he had plenty of games, but didn't really get very good average. He's never managed to get very good average ratings, has he? Before moving to QPR in the Premier League, he's done okay with them. Lots of games under his belt. Achievements-wise, won a few things in his career. Won the German Cup with Dortmund. Won the first division with Leverkusen. Kenji Kimura, still at Real Madrid, our Japanese keeper. Still playing for Japan. Still playing plenty of games for Real Madrid. He's been their main keeper for many years now. 5 years. So I'm sure he's won quite a few things for Real Madrid. He's won the league. He's won the Spanish Super Cup. Spanish Cup. Asian Nations Cup with Japan. Spanish Super Cup. He won the league. Club World Championship. He's won plenty of things with Real Madrid. Moving on to Wasad Radio, our Rwandan left-sided attacking midfielder. 24 goals in 60 games for Rwanda. Has retired from international duty. Retired 2 years ago, in fact. And he's moved. He's moved from Den Haag to Heerenveen. I'd say that's a step up. 925k. He's been playing more games, actually, for them as well. And I think maybe he's won a couple of things. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, he won the Dutch Cup this year. He did win the Dutch Cup with Den Haag as well, but he's won the Cup for a second time. Runners-up as well last year. John Johnson, our Scottish international at Southampton, 1 goal in 26 games for Scotland. Hasn't really improved that record and has been up and down between the Championship and the Premier League with Southampton, but not played many games at all. It's a shame what's happened to him. It hasn't quite worked out for him, has it? Moving on to Leon, another Finnish guy. 12 goals in 79 games for Finland. He's at Stuttgart. Has actually retired from international duty as well. Been in Stuttgart for pretty much his whole career, apart from when he went to Schalke and then returned to Stuttgart, which was a strange... That was strange, those transfer moves. He's played plenty of games. Achievements-wise, he's won a few things in his time, but nothing lately. Moving on to Mark Eads, 94 games for Wales, 27 goals. That must be a record. He's still the top player for Wales as well. Chris Coleman in charge still. And he's at Tottenham, and he's been a very good player. Tottenham were actually relegated to the Championship. They got promoted again. But average rating's not great. But he's got plenty of games under his belt in his career. And has been a good player. And there's his biography. Here's Mitchell Katoni, our other Australian international. 97 games, 13 goals. I think it's the same as Daniel Turner in terms of goals. Hasn't retired from international duty yet. He's wanted by a club, so let's have a quick look at that. Wanted by Empoli. He's been at Tottenham for 5 seasons. Hasn't really played very much, but still playing for Australia. So maybe he does need to move on. He has won an Asian Football of the Year award back in the day as well. Ali Abel, another Tottenham player. There's 3 players at Tottenham, and they've all had to go down to the Championship and back up again. 4 goals in 130 games for 13 games for Kuwait. Doesn't look like he's stopped either. He's played plenty of games for Tottenham. Good average ratings for this defender. Achievements-wise, they've won the Championship, but that's about it in recent years. And he's won Asian Football of the Year twice. Moving on to Sam Lewis, 19 goals in 48 games for England. He's never been their main striker for England, but he's managed to pick up quite a few caps over the years, and he's with the England team at the moment. And he's at Udinese, where they've actually been relegated. He's been there for a few years, and has scored a few goals, but nothing spectacular. It's strange that he's still getting in the England team, despite having to play in Serie B for Udinese. Who, have they gone up? No, they haven't. Finished 5th. So will he move on? Will he decide to move away from Udinese? So Pelé Ferguson, 18 goals in 30 games for Scotland. He's at Verona now. He's moved around quite a bit. Went to Monaco for big money. Finally got a big money move when he started to improve. Before moving to Verona for 3 million. 16 goals this last season and 13 goals this season. He's been a good striker the last few years. He's had a slow start, but he has become a good player. Lastly, Matt Jones, our Northern Irish keeper, 75 caps for Northern Ireland. And he's been at West Brom for 3 years. He left Leeds for 1.2 million. He's playing in the Championship with Premier League with West Brom, and he's been the main keeper, playing quite a few games. Not brilliant average ratings. Achievements-wise, he's won the Capital One Cup with Stoke. I think that's it though. MLS All-Stars with Leeds down there. So let's look at World Player of the Year. This was the season. Taylor Nelson finished 3rd. 38 goals in 50 games. 7.99 average rating. Very impressive. Gabriel Barbosa won it. But for a player from Granada to get 3rd, I think that's really good. This season, it was none of our players in there, and then the following season, just gone, none of our players. So Taylor Nelson, the only player to get into the World Team of the Year. I don't think there's going to be anyone getting it, unfortunately. But Taylor Nelson finished 3rd, so wow, well done to him. World Golden Ball, did any of our players get in? No. None of them got in, unfortunately. Maybe World Team of the Year, though, over the past 3 years. Let's go back in time and look through. Can we see anyone here? Odegaard's still in there. Daniel Turner, Team of the Year, World Team of the Year, well done. I think that's it. Taylor Nelson as well, as you'd expect, considering he was 3rd place in World Player of the Year. So 2 players in that one. And this season, last season, no one. And the season just gone, Anyone in there? Please, someone. No, but a couple players got in at least. These are the nation rankings. Brazil are back to the top. It looks pretty much standard now. Ireland have dropped out to 11th. No huge surprises there. Let's just look at the list of clubs in terms of reputation. Real Madrid, 5 stars now. Atletico second. Oh look, Lille, a third. That's weird. Barcelona 4th, Juventus 5th. Let's look at finances. The richest club in the world is Man United now. Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, 4 English teams at the top. Aston Villa have dropped off, down to 15th. They've halved their value. It wasn't like 600 million last time. And Watford are up to 9th. Wow, 438 million. And Seoul is still very high up. Well, I think that's it for this episode, guys. Once again, sorry to the guys where the retirement is not showing, retirement history. I will make sure I click through and make sure everyone's ticked. So hopefully in the next episode it will be there when we see more players retiring. Next episode I'll probably holiday another 3 years, possibly 4, I don't know. But there's probably only going to be 2 more now and then we're all retired. And then after that we'll do the voting episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Please leave a like. It's been another marathon, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you soon.